I am working in SharePoint and SharePoint Document Library, to be more specific. And I'm working on these demo videos for Microsoft 365. And I started using a folder structure, which I think most people do in document libraries because that's just what they're used to. That's how people have organized documents for a long time. Folders are kind of the go-to. And so I was doing that, but, being a SharePoint person, I really much prefer to use metadata in a lot of cases because I feel like it's a lot cleaner. It's easier to filter. You can associate a document or a folder with more than one thing. So I feel like metadata is a great option. And for SharePoint, certainly it's the one I usually suggest as the first thing you do. Now, there's cases where you are working in an application that's not tightly integrated with SharePoint or Microsoft 365. I'm working with Camtasia to record this video. And Camtasia is not tightly integrated. So there's some things I'm going to do to make it easier to work with that. And so one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to create a document library. I'm going to sync it down locally to my computer, and then I'm going to save my Camtasia files locally. That's going to be synced up to the cloud, and then from there I can tag my folders to the metadata I want. And so the reason why I'm doing that is because this folder structure I created, and you can see it in here, it's just kind of messy. And you have PA stands for Power Automate, and SP is SharePoint. So I have PA and SP. I just have some PAs in here, then SP. So you can think, I've been working in this recently, so I can kind of figure out what's going on, but you got to click down in quite a few folders to see what's happening. And also, if I step away from this for, let's say, like a couple weeks and come back into here, I think it's going to be difficult for me to find anything. And that's the thing with folders, is that you really need to know where it is, because if it's not in this folder and I'm clicking, I'm never going to find it. So then I got to click through all of this stuff, and it's a real pain. The other use case I have here is that I want to know when something's been completely finished and it's not a work in progress. And so there's really no way for me to look at these and say, oh, did I finish that? Or is it still happening? So those are the things I really want to solve with creating my new document library here and using a little bit of metadata. So I have this videos and articles SharePoint site. I'm going to create a brand new document library. And so if I go to the home page here, I should get a new option up here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then I have my document library. I'm going to call this videos, and then just go ahead and create it. All right, so I got a new document library, which is great. And like I said, with Camtasia, you don't necessarily get that tight integration. So I want to sync this down so I have a local area on my computer. And then from Camtasia, I can just save directly into this document library. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to close this. Or did I close that too soon, maybe? Let's go ahead and hit sync again. Here we go. Is it syncing? A lot going on here. Let me look at my folder structure, see if anything is in there. Okay, great. So I'll pull this up for you so you can see it. So I am actually syncing. So in my folder view here on my computer, I have my SharePoint environment, and then I have videos and articles. That's the site, and then I have my videos. And it's empty now, obviously, because I haven't saved anything in there. So what am I looking for metadata-wise? And so before I save anything in there, I'm going to create my metadata fields. And so I can do that right from the view here, and I can do an add a column. I'm going to do a choice, and then I'm going to call this status. And so the status is going to be I'm going to call it raw. So that's the video. So after this video is done, it'll be in a raw state. And then I'll edit the audio. So we'll say audio edited. And then after that, we'll export it. We'll have an MP4. And then finally, we're going to publish that to YouTube. And so if I think about these, the colors, we can change the colors. This would be more of a green since it'll be done. The raw is more of a red because it's just starting. Maybe that's an orange. And then the export is maybe a lighter green. So that looks good. And you can only choose one of these because it's either in this state or it's not. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to add another column. And for this column, I'm going to do a choice again. And I just want to identify the app that I'm working with. So I'm going to say the 365 application. I'm going to go Power Automate and SharePoint. And then maybe I'll do Power BI. We'll throw in a Teams there. And then we'll call it a day. I'm not going to mess with the colors. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have any colors. Let's go no style. No style. No style. No style. Save. And then, I'm going to add one more. And I'm going to call this date published. And maybe if I do enough of these, it will, I can, later look back and say, oh, maybe I need to refresh this. It's a couple years old. That might be a field maybe that I don't use as much, but I'll just throw it in there for now and we'll see if it sticks as I go through this. So now I'm going to pull up Camtasia and I'm going to show you, hopefully, I'm recording this video in Camtasia, so hopefully I can save this to the folder. I need to save it in. So I'm going to say save as, and then I got my my Drew demos, I got my videos and articles, and then I'm going to call this project document library metadata. Okay, cool. So I was able to save that, and so that should start syncing up. We should start seeing that in the video library right away. And so what's interesting about this is I'm using metadata, but these projects are actually folders. So it's kind of a hybrid approach with there's going to be folders in here, and I'm going to have metadata on the folders. So you can use both, and I think that's pretty cool about this, the particular way I'm doing it. So you can see this document library metadata, and I'm going to go ahead. The easiest way to do this is to edit it in a grid view, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put status. Definitely going to be raw video. It's not even finished yet, and the 365 application is going to be SharePoint, and it has not been published yet. I'm going to go ahead and exit the grid view. And so you can see there, this is the project. And so it's going to be a whole lot easier for me to come in here and see the stuff that I need to work on, the stuff where I need to edit the audio. And the other nice thing is this is going to be synced up into my SharePoint library, so I have no worries about losing my computer or my hard drive crashing or anything happening. I'll always have this up in the cloud so I can get this stuff back. So I think this is a good way to kind of showcase how you can use metadata, but also how you can use metadata with an application that isn't necessarily tightly integrated with Microsoft 365. So I hope you found that helpful, and I'll be talking more about this in other videos because I feel like the folder and the metadata option in libraries is always something that generates a lot of conversation, and it's something people have a lot of questions about. All right, so I will talk to you later. Thanks.